Crazy games. Crazy b-ball season's heating up. It's a good time.
But we're
live. And we're back. And it's time. Back from the long break, guys. We're back. Season 2, Episode 1. That's what we'll call it. We had a bunch of games. College football playoffs have started. The first year of the 12-team playoff has been underway, and it has been it's been pretty good. Not as close of games. There's been one close game, but kind of blowouts, and people have a lot of mixed opinions about it. But I think it's cool. I think it's been all right, except for my team losing. But that's besides the point. Anyway, we got some stuff to cover. We'll start back on. We can talk about just the first round and how that went. Personally, I think most of the picks I had hit except for one, and it didn't hit bad. It hit really bad, actually. Tennessee got blown out by Ohio State, 42-17. Not like just. It's like Ohio State's a totally different team now. Even into this past week. I mean, we're going to talk about that obviously, but this game, Ohio State just came off a loss from Michigan. Everybody thought they were just going to roll over and die. And if Ryan Day would have lost this game,
I think he should have been fired if he lost.
I agree.
But he saved his career.
I agree.
Yeah.
Saved his career. Saved everything. I mean, he put a beating on Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Smith, too. That guy's electric. That guy is so good. Player stats, I'm just looking what he had in that game. This is Tennessee. Gosh, Brew McCoy is still in college? I did not know that. Jeremiah Smith, 6 receptions for 103 yards, 17.2 yards. But this game was over after the middle of the second quarter, basically. I mean, it wasn't really close.
I was in New York. I was in New York during this whole first round. And so we got back to the hotel room with 5 minutes before halftime of that game. We turned it on. I see it. I'm like, Tennessee still has a chance. It's not even halftime yet. You know, anything could happen.
How was New York, Curran?
Cold, but it was good.
Cold.
It was great.
Did you go and see the world's largest slinky?
No, I did not.
Missed out, man. What about Statue of Liberty?
Yeah.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to college football. We got the rest of the games. SMU got blown out. We kind of all figured that was going to happen, as well as Clemson.
Yeah.
Not really blown out, Clemson. Notre Dame and Indiana, the score looked closer. The game was not close. If you watched the game, you knew.
Indiana.
The game was not close.
Horrible,
Indiana got
bro.
destroyed, just dominated on all sides of the ball. And then now, so that kind of recap. But going into the playoffs, there was another game that a lot of people from down here aren't too happy about, and that was the Reliquest Bowl between Alabama and Michigan. Alabama takes a loss to start the year and end the year. 2 years in a row, Michigan
starts
does
off the
it
year,
again.
ends off the year beating Alabama. And you know what's crazy? Michigan didn't score in the second half.
I didn't watch the game. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't watch that game or the Michigan game against y'all from last year.
I watched 2 minutes of that game because I started watching it. We were already down 16-0, so I didn't stay for that long. But they didn't score during the whole second half, and we still couldn't beat them.
I mean, you know more about the game than I did. Did you watch the highlights?
I watched a little bit. I watched Jalen Milroe absolutely suck at playing football. That's for sure. I'm kind of glad he's going into the draft.
We'll talk about some draft news a little later. I don't know. I just think that this stuff wouldn't have happened under Nick Saban, and that's the new thing that people are scared about with this guy, is that he's going to lose some of the smaller games that maybe he doesn't have the players as motivated. Because you've heard the players say that he's a lot more laid back than Coach Saban, so you don't know how that locker room is.
Yeah.
I do think that Jalen Milroe, as he might not be, has had a rough season. He's stayed at Alabama. He's picked up the locker room. He's done his part. I think he's a good football player. Had some of the most memorable games of Alabama, like the nightmare at Jordan Hare. I mean, created the Georgia game from this year, obviously.
It's like he'll either play his absolute best or his absolute worst when it comes to these games.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so inconsistent. But like,
you never know what that could be, though. You don't know if that's a Jalen Milroe thing or it's a coaching thing, because we saw in that Georgia game,
I mean, last year we only lost.
he was the Heisman favorite. Y'all lost 2 games.
Okay, well, one before the playoffs.
Should have lost 3 because Georgia played their worst game of the season against y'all, and I don't think we would have lost to Michigan. Anyway, that's besides the point.
False. Y'all would have lost.
No, we would not.
Y'all would have lost
We
to
would
that
not.
Michigan team.
Go back and watch that almost exact same Michigan team with Blake Corum in 2021 when we played them before we beat y'all in the Natty.
When y'all were like
we
the
beat.
best team of all time.
We lost, bro. We would have beat them last year, but it's not that we destroyed them. It wasn't close.
Y'all had the best.
34-10.
Y'all had probably the best team of all time during that season.
I mean, I don't know, but you could say that, but I mean, it wasn't. I think we would have beat them last year with Jalen Carter. Or no, Jalen Carter wasn't on the team. I mean, we still had Ladd, Brock, all those guys. I mean, look what we did to Florida State. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's besides the point. We're getting off topic. Let's move on to this past week. It was hard. Oh, we didn't even Carson Beck. You know, we didn't know how Gunner was going to do. We'll start with the Georgia game. Actually, no, we're not going to start with the Georgia game. We're going to talk about Cam Scatterby putting the team on his back.
Oh my, dude! Arizona State should have been cooked in that game. They were down by what, like 20 at halftime.
Came back, and then they missed a targeting call that was questionable on Texas. Made me think that Texas maybe. Well, yeah, they were. Dude, when that game started, I was like, all right, this shows the SEC is just so much better. Like, I mean, it was. They scored 21 within like 7 minutes.
That was crazy.
That was nuts. And then Arizona State adjusted, and Cam Scatterby played such a good game. I think that's the only time I've ever seen that MVP of a bowl game was on the losing team.
Dude, when that video came out and I first saw it, I was like, yeah, he definitely does not want this award at all. Cause like, look how mad he got when that dude came over with the award. Like,
oh yeah,
he went from like just heartbroken from losing to like just straight up mad that he won the MVP but still lost.
Guy got sick on the sideline too. He played that game with like food poisoning or something, I read.
Yeah, cause Scatterville only had like 30 yards, I think, going into halftime, and at the end of the game he had like over 200.
Yeah, I think he put up like one set. True or false on that? I don't know.
I'm not on that game right now. I'll check in a second.
I don't know. But just tough. That targeting call could have. I don't know. There's a lot of calls that are missing games. Anyway.
And then was it the Arizona State like?
He threw a touchdown too. Cam Scatterby.
Oh yeah, I saw that. But like whatever their like medical staff was icing the Texas kicker.
Oh yeah.
That was tough.
Texas kicker, by the way, Bert Auburn might be the worst kicker in the college football.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like 2 in a row from inside of 40, and you're supposed to be the best kicker in Texas history, and you miss the same type of kicks in the Georgia game.
Mm-hmm.
The guy can't hit a kick, and he's goofy looking. And anyway, Penn State gets beat. Penn State beats Boise very handily. They stacked like 10 guys in the box to stop Ashton Genty.
I know.
And they were talking about Ashton Genty. Oh, he can't put up numbers against good teams. They literally stacked the box for him.
It's because.
And he would still get like 10 yards.
I think. What's their coach? James Franklin. That's their coach, right? I think he knew that Boise State. They don't really have a passing offense.
No.
So, like, it's just all Ashton Genty. So,
their quarterback isn't bad. I forget his name. He's not terrible.
Like, I think he had a couple of touchdowns, but like that was like their whole thing. You got to stop Ashton Genty because if the rest of the offense isn't good, you can just leave that open for right now, and
I agree.
you easily win that because your offense is 10 times better, your defense is 10 times better. This should be the easiest win of your life.
I agree.
And it was.
Ohio State and Oregon, they play.
What? Oh, wait.
Blew Oregon. Ohio State fell to Oregon in the regular season. Got blown out. Oregon got destroyed by this new. It's like Ohio State is a new team. They look so dominant, so dominant.
Boston lose to Texas on like a field goal.
I don't know, dude. The Texas is gonna have to play really good, and I don't see Stark winning the big game. All of these teams, it's like if you think. Let me cover the Georgia game first. Georgia got blown out. All right, cover the Georgia game. I'll cover it a little more. Receivers couldn't catch, couldn't run the ball, looked sluggish, and then, if you look at the box score, Riley Leonard 15 of 24 for 90 yards, 1 touchdown, and then Gunnar Stockton, our quarterback, 20 of 32 for 234 yards. You would think, oh my God, this team, Georgia blew them out the water. We had 9 rushing yards.
Dang.
As a team. There's a guy by the name of Parker Jones, walk-on, runs into the ref.
Oh, I did see that. How
Crazy.
do you do that?
He was dude, the ref was running ref shouldn't. I don't know. That was questionable.
He's on the sideline,
But the ref was running on our pass on into our sideline actually, and then ran into him. I don't know. I felt so bad for the kid because I feel like you're not paying attention in that moment. That would have been such big momentum, I thought.
Dude, this mic just keeps falling. Okay, this whole thing just came apart.
Just
So
hold it.
I'm just gonna hold this for the rest of this thing. Just came apart. So I'll fix it after. I'll fix it after. All right. Let's keep going.
And then Notre Dame wins the game. I think I went on a jog. I was getting so mad.
Not a job.
Yeah. Anyway, Notre Dame beats us 23-10. We had chances to make it close and we fumble. But that's another story. We can talk briefly about this transfer portal and NFL draft. Carson Beck, after the UCL tear, declares for the NFL draft. He had just undergone Tommy John surgery, so his career's done at Georgia. Jalen Milroe declares for the NFL draft.
Yep.
He's done.
What happened to Quinn Ewers? I thought he was supposed to go top 3. I've not heard anything about his draft stock.
Well, he's not that good. He's a game manager.
True, but
Preseason, Carson Beck was supposed to be the Heisman and the number 1 overall pick.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, in preseason he was.
No.
Go back to episode 1 before the season, and you can hear us talking about it. He was literally the Heisman favorite.
Nah.
Carson Beck, because he put up such good numbers last year. Also, that's another thing. I went back and I've been watching, because I've been trying to let off some steam by watching old Georgia games. I tend to do that once or twice a day. But I went back and watched Carson Beck from last year. Totally different. Honestly, I don't blame this season on Carson Beck. I think there's a lot more to it. I think he was bad at times, but I don't think he was the reason why he had 12 interceptions. I think a lot of them were tip passes, and receivers led the country in drops. We led the country with 91 drops. 91 drops.
Well, y'all got a bunch of Kadarius Tonys on y'all's team?
Last year they weren't. Dylan Bell was a great receiver. Arian Smith, I don't know about great receiver, but good receiver. Exactly. You've probably never heard of those guys.
Yeah.
That's my point. Georgia does have good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But Brock Bowers or Oscar Delp? Oscar Delp's solid. Lawson Lucky's solid. We have good tight ends. I'm talking about wideouts, receivers. It blows my mind. I went back and watched the spring game. Even then, they were making these insane catches.
Spring game is crazy.
Ra Thomas, also the guy that he had to quit or got kicked off the team before the season. I think he would have been a big contributor, as well as Colby Young, number 8, who has also faced legal trouble and has not been on the field since week 2. I don't know. But speaking of receivers, Georgia just landed Zachariah and Zion Branch, the 2 Branch brothers.
Yeah.
Zion Branch, former 5-star out of I don't know where he played high school ball.
Wherever.
But the 2 brothers, Zion is a 4-star safety, played at USC last year. I don't know about where his position, how much he played. But Zachariah Branch started all 14 or 13 games they played in. Played really well. I'm really excited for him to come and add to that receiving court. Also, Dylan Bell announces he's going to stay for Georgia. And then big news in Alabama, Jalen Mbakwe switched to receiver.
I have not heard about that.
Yeah, he did.
I did not hear about that.
Mm-hmm. Even in the bowl game, he switched to receiver because he hit the portal because he wanted to be a receiver. He didn't want to be and then DeBoer needs to. Saban would have just let him go. Be like, all right, son, you're off the team then if you want to do that.
I mean, but he's a good player though. Like,
I don't know, dude. DeBoer's got some weirder antics.
yeah. Oh, speaking of Saban, have you seen people wanting to be the commissioner of college football?
Wanting him to be it?
Yeah.
I would love for him to be the commissioner of college football.
Yeah, like what was it? After Penn State won, Jane Franklin was like, "Yeah, we really need a commissioner now for college football. The NCAA is absolutely ruining everything. I feel like Nick Saban would be probably the best candidate for that."
I mean, I think it would be great. Me and Jet were reading something. It was like Nick Saban may come to Georgia and build a super team, you know. No, I'm kidding. We can't read, so we didn't read that. But Jet was telling me that Nick Saban rumored. He told me that. I didn't say that, but Jet told me that.
Because he's an Auburn fan.
No. He's rumored to come to Georgia though. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I do.
You do.
I don't know what Georgia's gonna do with the OC position because Mike Bobo needs to hit the portal, dude. Coaches do hit the. I was just playing. Did coaches actually hit the portal?
Nah,
I think they just resign and get hired because they're professionals. Technically, they're not. Amateurs, like when you're in college, you're technically an amateur at what you do, so it's different.
Yeah.
If you're a professional, like even if you just have a job, you're a professional, but you resign and get fired. You don't get fired as an amateur. You get kicked off, or
I don't know.
It's different.
I don't know if we talked about this on the last episode, but UNC and Bill Belichick. Did we talk about that last episode?
Oh, Bill Belichick. Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, it's crazy. He's getting all these players now.
Yeah.
I just can't see him coaching college football.
Nah, I think.
Anyway, we got one more minute, so we're going to talk about this Notre Dame Penn State. I got Notre Dame winning it. I think Notre Dame resembles Georgia a lot, just the way they play. And then, you know what? I'm doubling down the SEC. After what Dave Portnoy said and all that stuff about how the SEC's middle-of-the-road conference, I'm doubling down. I got Texas beating Ohio State. The upset, say what you want. If we run this back and it happened, I called DJ Lagway being good at Florida. I called it. Curran didn't believe me.
Yo. Well, yeah, how am I supposed to believe you on that? But Texas beating this monster of an Ohio State team just out of nowhere. I mean,
they got Isaiah Bond.
That's true. I want Texas to win this game, but I don't think they're gonna win. Yeah, they're gonna put Arch Manning in to win this game.
Notre Dame's gonna put Rudy in. You ever seen that movie?
No.
You've never seen the movie Rudy?
No.
What, Curran? Do you live under a rock?
I probably do.
The movie Rudy about the walk. Jet, do you know what I'm talking about? There's a movie called Rudy about this like walk-on from Notre Dame. It's like one of the biggest movies ever, I think.
Nah.
It's like this movie. It came out in like the 80s. Like it's called Rudy. It's about this like walk-on from Notre Dame that like ended up getting to play one game. It's like a less cool Stetson Bennett story. When's that Stetson Bennett movie coming out, dude?
Yo, never.
Honestly, yeah, what a story. And the Gunnar Stockton movie that's about to happen next year when Gunnar Stockton comes. Because we play Alabama at Georgia. At Georgia. I'm telling you, y'all play. No, y'all aren't. Not at Georgia. Nobody wins at Georgia. We haven't lost a home game since 2017.
Ty Simpson throwing 400 yards and 7 touchdowns in that game.
2019 actually is the last time we lost a home game. It was actually South Carolina when Rodrigo Blankenship missed the first career field goal. He missed one or two field goals in college. Shout out Hot Rod. What a guy. Brent Thorson, our punter, actually announced he's coming back because he got injured. Love that guy, dude. Freaking love his podcast. A lot more than having Curran on the podcast, with this Alabama fan.
Wow.
But, there's not a lot of replacements. Curran's a good guy. If there's any ladies watching this too, and y'all are single, and you love you some Curran, tell us about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wraps it up. Jet, run the outro music.
I gotta see if I can
We'll be
fix
back
this mic.
week 17. Curran's got the mic in hand. Curran, spit us a bar.
I gotta see if I can fix this mic. I'm gonna win a Grammy like I'm Killer Mike.
Ooh. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa.